Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. Tonight, I have a message that has come through from the Great Spirit that I have been asked to bring forth. So I'll begin. There is an emotion in the air of feeling violated. However, this is a mirror of the current level of consciousness within. Those of you that continue to justify reasons and choices for certain actions and behaviors are facing the equal energy in return as the cosmic law of karma responds accordingly. While this may seem difficult to understand and receive, it is also a gift of great freedom, for it is pointing to the way out of your current feeling of imprisonment. Each of you has been given multiple pointers to encourage you to create the change that would serve humanity in the highest and greatest way, to achieve a more balanced and harmonious environment that would help support the future of your race. This guidance has always been there for you, however not acknowledged, and it can no longer wait for humanity to awaken. More impactful messages that will cause greater discomfort to gain the attention of those that are asleep will unfold. While there may be a reaction and a desire to want to blame another, the sole responsibility lies within yourselves. To ignore repeated requests of a loved one would be considered negligent. The same example applies if this was occurring to you in your life. You are presently ignoring the pleadings of loved ones that are there supporting you on the other side. You are choosing to dismiss your guides and angels that walk with you day and night, never leaving your side, but are but a conversation away if you would but take a moment to pause and go within to speak to them. Your ability to communicate to these non-local, physical, celestial guides was something that was respected and nourished in previous generations. However, over the course of time, these practices and knowings, the divine feminine gifts of intuition, were sacrificed and compromised. They were ultimately replaced with the idolizing of the mind and the masculine way, causing separation within you. The exclusive reliance on only the separated mind's direction has caused many of you to stray off the path of which you and your soul is meant to follow. Your heart knows the truth, for it stands at the center of your being, balancing the body, the mind, and the soul. The separated mind rejects the heart and judges it as weak, inhibiting it from knowing your true goals. The separated mind seeks to pursue knowledge only. These goals have cost you great pain without you realizing it and continue to chip away at the sustainability of your sacred garden, your planet. This planet has lost many species due to the imbalance and selfishness of the choices that continue to unfold. The reconciliation of this imbalance is now. As many of you celebrate the holiday season that is approaching and give thanks and express love to those around you, there is an invitation to remove the materialism of which this holiday has exploded into, returning to the symbolic meaning of its true origin. The cycle of seasons and the planetary movements accumulate to celebrate a time of rebirth and new beginnings, a time for peace amongst all. This is a time of giving and sharing and breaking bread. Do not forget the home and the being that gives you home. The celestial being, your earth, has been forgotten for too long. The anguish she has, having been used and forgotten, can no longer be put off for another day or another year. Your reconciliation of your relationship to the earth is of utmost importance and critical to the karmic lessons of your species. As you celebrate your holiday, reflect on what you deem important versus what is truly important. Material items will come and go, but this heavenly body of which you call home is a living being that requires your fullest attention. This being is part of your greater family, for what is in you is in the earth, and what is in the earth is in you. The earth has felt helpless in that she has been patient with her family. But like the present dismissal of the divine feminine, this patience has caused a great loss. The healing of the divine feminine is not only a step that must be taken to honor the earth and the lost gifts of the feminine, but an action that touches all humans within. For each of you carries the expression and gifts of the divine feminine, and without your connection to your own divine feminine, you are unable to truly access and enter the gateway of the heart. The heart is where the balance of the feminine and masculine is expressed. You experience this union within the heart. The gateway to your soul opens when you do, in an even deeper way, as your soul cannot be present within you without the balance of the feminine. You must allow the return of the divine feminine now, for it softens and creates the warmth of the hearth and home that is missing in many humans at this time. While you slumber in your unconsciousness, you are sacrificing and giving up fundamental conditions that your future generations desperately need in order to thrive. The devastating and dramatic shift away from family principles has created a rise in anxiety, depression, and mental disease in your children. This disease and inability to be comfortable in one's own life and one's own body is the torturous feeling of being separated from soul, from the earth, and from source. But it is playing out in your life by feeling separated and disconnected from family and intimate human connection. In contrast to those of you who are busy seeking and questioning, having newly awakened and discovered the spiritual realms, this is another distraction to ignore these fundamentally more critical and concerning issues in your life. It serves as another escapism and distraction from what would be truly medicinal to your soul. What is asked of you is simply to take the time to listen to the heart, for the wisdom of your soul speaks through the heart and your body. Your soul seeks to give you the answers you're asking to the questions. Your soul seeks to give you the answers you're asking and answers to questions you do not know to ask. While burying your nose in a spiritual book may seem exciting and rewarding, if it is at the expense of dealing with your life, your loved ones, delaying making amends in relationship, or with following through on an obligation, or for being integral in creating change and keeping your promises, then this is a distraction. All living things that surround you are animated by spirit, and this spirit is in you. Being in community, then, is the number one priority to your awakening and learning to live. You must know your contribution to this great community and your earth, which is your spiritual quest at this time. So that is the message from the Great Spirit. In addition, they have asked me to read an excerpt from the book that I channeled called The Way to Peace. It is from page 44. And this book I channeled from Jesus, and they asked me to begin here. Living in harmony with your soul is living in harmony with life, and the highest potential outcome can then be accessed. The mind's vulnerability has been that it is easily programmed, and because you are not accessing the litmus test of truth to affirm if it is in alignment with all of life, you create further confusion in the mind. It will always reject unity, for it's only interested in its preservation of what it seeks to serve itself. Just as life will continue to move ahead and recreate itself for the good of all, and any structure that is not in alignment will face destruction, also applies to any life choice that is not in alignment with your soul at this time. The truth of what your soul wishes for you to experience is nothing short of expansive and is only awaiting your decision to create together rather than separate. Deciding from the mind only will only contribute to the cause of suffering, for it will negate the truth of the body complex. Only through your feeling body you gain access to the sacred knowings of the earth's critical messages. To access the body of the divine, it must be entered from this present state in this time and dimension. To take the inward path to the sacred domain, you must work to heal and reclaim the whole body and soul that you are. Through the completion of your soul lessons, living your purpose, making amends, and resolving your karmic choices on earth, you are granted deeper access to the divine within. The real keys to the divine unlock the doorways to creativity, bliss, joy, peace, and love. One choice at a time when made in alignment with the one sacred heart. This expanded state of being and loving is gently revealed to you over the course of time. You are not alone on this journey, nor are you going to be saved by another. To fully embrace your soul's potential, you must consciously choose to take this return journey and to be fully committed to the path. To be granted access again is to enter the body of the divine. The shame you were deceived into feeling toward the body was only to strengthen the choice to go outside of your body into the mind in order to seek salvation. The further outcome of abandoning your body, instinctual nature, and feminine self therefore isolated you into the mind and created a vacancy in the lower bodies. These contributed factors have resulted in the left side of the body being physically weaker. The disconnection from your feminine self contributed to the overdevelopment of the dominant right side of the human body, causing many to be left brain dominant, keeping your right brain from accessing its full abilities. This not only cut you off from the plethora of spiritual gifts of the feminine, but it has denied you of essential physical brain functions. This has had an impact on the health of the brain and has been a source for mental illness in humanity. When one is in whole brain, you are more able to process information from a balanced and transcendental perspective, looking at any issue from a holistic state. The dark beings took the valuable role of the brain, lobotomized and isolated it, giving way for them to create a powerful, programmable puppet out of it. They have been the masters holding the strings of your life, and you have been playing out their drama. Few liberated souls were able to access this knowing and share it along with many other techniques for achieving this powerful whole brain state. However, the dark puppet masters have brilliantly tied you to each other karmically and to other deviant vows, agreements, and contracts to prevent you from freeing yourself, making liberation almost impossible. These agreements, committed by you in times outside of your awareness, such as dream time, have led you to create a life that has one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. Since these agreements are held outside of your awareness, you find yourself attracting repeating patterns in your life, unable to free yourself from their hold, nor understand the reason of your failures. This compounding suppression of not being able to access your soul drove the planted fear of survival in the mind into an outward action of inauthentic and desperate focus control. So that is the excerpt that Spirit chose for me to share to go with their message tonight. And thank you for joining me. If you're interested in purchasing the book and receiving all of the messages that came through, it can be ordered on Amazon. And another area that you can check out is our website, thenatureofus.ca. I hope you have a wonderful day and all the best.